A smart home. You know you want it, you just don't know what you want. There are so many different options out there. What's good and what should you avoid? Those are some good questions. In this video, I'm going to talk about the best smart home devices and brands to invest in, so let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So I recently had somebody comment on a video asking what my recommendations are for smart home devices. They recently got a new place, wanted to build out their smart home, and kind of wanted like a starter pack. What should they invest in first? And after giving it some thought, I have 5 categories that I think you should invest in first. We'll talk about those later in this video, but before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. Also, if you guys want to give me a follow over on Instagram, I do a lot of cool things over there, post some behind the scenes things, so follow me over there too. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started by talking about some of the best smart home devices you can buy. Now, the first thing I recommend you doing is picking out a voice assistant. This is going to allow you to centralize all of your devices into one location to control them all from there. Your 3 main choices are going to be Amazon, Google, or Apple. Now, overall, I think Amazon probably has the best ecosystem for beginners. Their Echo devices are always going on sale, and if you are a Prime member, you can get some extra benefits into investing into there. Also with the Amazon ecosystem is that you can set up different automations and routines. So it's all integrated into one system. Amazon also has the biggest catalog of devices that integrate into that system. Next up, we have the Google Assistant. This is another product that goes on sale quite often for you to integrate it into your system. However, at this time, you cannot set up routines or automations. If you want to automate your stuff in the Google ecosystem, you're going to have to look at a third-party hub. I'd recommend Samsung SmartThings. If you do incorporate a Samsung SmartThings hub into your system, that really unlocks a ton of options for you to really get deep diving into, say, home automations if you want to do that. If you don't want to go deep diving into Samsung SmartThings, it's also a good platform for beginners too, so don't worry too much about it. I will say Google Nest Hub is by far my favorite smart home product. It is the Google display. It allows for a lot of control over your smart home products. Also, the photo display is amazing on it. You can do so many things with that device right there. I did a deep dive on that product. If you guys want to know more about it, I'll link it up in the corner for you guys to check that video out. But hands down, my favorite device. And then we also have Apple's Siri. Now, if you are an iPhone or iPad user, Apple is going to be a great option to look into. The biggest downfall with Apple is they don't have a ton of devices that integrate into their system. Mostly, you're going to find a problem with that when it comes to cameras. So video doorbells, security cameras, that is probably where you're going to notice your biggest lack of options. Also, to circle back to Amazon, they do own the Ring brand. So they integrate really well together if you were looking to invest in the Ring ecosystem, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit here. Next thing I would recommend looking into is making sure you have a good, strong home Wi-Fi network. If this is something you need to invest in, I would recommend looking at a mesh system. This is going to be a set of 2 to 3 devices that you are going to put around your house that are all going to connect to each other and essentially create like a blanket over your house. Whichever one of these satellites is giving off the strongest signal, that is what your smart home device is going to connect to. Now, as far as devices I recommend for this, if you're going with the Amazon ecosystem, I'd recommend taking a look at the Euro brand. If you're on a budget, the Euro 6 is going to be a good option for you. If you want a little bit faster speed and coverage, then the Euro Pro 6E is going to be a great option for you. TP-Link has some great options. I recommend the Deco X20. That's going to be a great entry-level system to get into. That is going to work for no matter what ecosystem you're in. And if you're going with the Google ecosystem, the Google Nest Wi-Fi is a great one to invest in because each one of the devices that come with that system have a Google Assistant built into it. Next, I want to talk about smart switches and smart light bulbs, and how do you decide between the two? I would say that if you have a switch that is controlling a lot of bulbs, say for me, I've got a kitchen light switch that controls 9 light bulbs in my kitchen. It would be much more cost effective to get a smart switch as opposed to 9 light bulbs. Now, if I just have 1 lamp or 1 light bulb that I want to replace, then it's going to be more cost effective to go with a smart light bulb. Keep in mind that a smart switch is going to be easy for anybody in your house to control. They can just go up and push the button. When it comes to a smart light bulb, that may be a little bit more difficult for people to control who aren't familiar with your smart home. If they don't know the exact name you've given that light bulb, or if you haven't set up maybe a smart button to control that light, it may be hard for them to turn it on and off. Now, as far as smart light switches go, Brands that I like are Aqara. With the Aqara though, you do have to have one of their hubs. Once you pick up an Aqara hub, you're going to connect any of your Aqara devices to it, and then that Aqara hub can sync into your voice assistant. So if you have Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, you can sync it into there and have your items be controlled by your voice assistant. Another Switch brand I like is Lutron. They also require a hub. Those are going to be a little bit more expensive, but they are very reliable. So a lot of people really like that brand. And then lastly, we've got TP-Link. There are no hubs to get these switches up and running. However, it is controlled by the cloud. So even though the switches will still work if the internet goes down, if you have any automation set up, those might not work with these switches right here. As far as light bulbs go, there are some good brands to look into. Philips Hue is probably the most well known. Now, technically, you don't have to have one of their hubs to control the light, but you also have to be right next to that light to control it. It controls through Bluetooth. So to be able to control these lights outside of your home or through automations, I would definitely recommend picking up a Philips Hue hub. Now, they are going to be one of the most expensive options out there, but I got to say they're the most reliable one too. Now, if you are looking for cheaper options that don't require a hub, Singlid and LifeX are some other good options out there too. Smart plugs are a great way to turn your old dumb devices into something smart. You're going to plug in a smart plug, plug that dumb device in it, whether it's a fan or a light or, a coffee pot, anything you have, and then you're going to be able to control that switch through an automated system. Something that I've done is I've actually taken a smart switch and I've connected it to the filter on my aquarium. This allows me to set up different automations on my aquarium filter. I can have it where if I push a button, it turns off the filter for 5 minutes. Or I can do an option where I push and hold that button down and it turns off my filter for 30 minutes. So there are a lot of cool things that you can do with smart plugs. The brand of smart plug that I use around my house, because it's just so affordable and works great, are the Wise brand plugs. That's going to be either their indoor or their outdoor plugs. They're fantastic. I use them everywhere and they're super affordable. Some other brands that are worth looking into are going to be the TP-Link Casa brand and the Wemo brand. All of those brands do integrate into the voice assistants, so you can't really go wrong with any of those. Another device that I really like using around my house are motion sensors. These are going to be great for kicking off automations, especially at nighttime. You want lights to turn on if I walk into a bedroom, different things like that. I want to be able to have lights automatically turn on and off, and a motion sensor is a great trigger for that. The two brands that I like the most are going to be Aqara and also Philips Hue. Now, both of these do require separate hubs. You are going to either have to invest into an Aqara hub or the Philips Hue hub to get them up and running, but you can then integrate those into your voice assistant, which makes them nice. These two for me have been the most reliable and the ones that I recommend. Now, if you want a sensor that's more than just a motion sensor, the AOTech 6-in-1 sensor is something worth looking into. This is a sensor that monitors motion, temperature, light, humidity, UV, and vibration all in one sensor. Another sensor to trigger off your home automations are going to be door and window contact sensors. Some brands that I like with this one are going to be the Ring contact sensors and the Aqara contact sensors. Another great thing to monitor through your smart home is going to be your garage door. You'll be able to remotely monitor if you left that garage door open, and if you did, you can go ahead and close it through the app. There are two good devices that I like for the setup. You can either go with the Chamberlain MyQ, or you can go with the Genie Aladdin Connect. Now, out of those two options right there, I'd probably recommend the Chamberlain MyQ. It is going to be able to connect to most garage door openers out there. It uses an RF signal to open and close your door and is one of the more affordable options out there. Next up, we have robot vacuums. Now, there are so many different options out there. I would definitely recommend looking at one that has a LiDAR sensor on top. This is going to be able to map out your house and be able to get different areas, and it's going to come with so much more functionality. Personally, I have the EcoBot N8 Plus. I absolutely love this vacuum. It's got a self-emptying bin. It maps out the whole floor of my house, and I can pick which room I want it to do in which order. And you can also do multi-floor mapping. A couple other brands of smart vacuums out there are going to be Roborock, iRobot, and Wise. Now, venturing outside, you might want to take a look at a smart sprinkler system. The best benefit of a smart sprinkler system is that you're going to have an app that's going to allow you to control your sprinkler system. I personally have the Orbit Beehive. They've got a couple of different options out there. The XR is the one that I have currently installed right now. They also have a older model that I was using previously. Personally, between the two, the older model I think is good enough. You're gonna get the same app, you're gonna get the same functionality, you're gonna save a little bit of money going with the older version. But if aesthetics are important to you, then I would go with the Beehive XR. Another great brand out there for smart sprinkler systems is going to be Rachio. They're going to have a lot of the same functionality as far as controlling your system through their app. All All right, and then lastly, let's talk about security cameras, video doorbells. There are so many different video doorbells out there, but here are the 3 that I like the most. Ring is probably going to be the most popular one out there. The Ring Pro 2 is going to definitely give you the best quality out of the Ring products. Now, I have done a couple of videos recently where I've compared different Ring video doorbells together, and what I'll do is I'll create a playlist of a lot of these videos that I have worked on for you guys to check out. I will have it at the end of this video for you guys to click on to check out the playlist on everything that we're talking about in this video. I had also mentioned earlier in this video that Amazon owns the Ring brand. Because of that, there's going to be some special features that Ring branded stuff is going to get you in the Amazon ecosystem. For example, if you have a Ring video doorbell, if somebody comes up and pushes that doorbell to ring it, you can have it to where it'll automatically pop up on your Amazon Echo Show devices. That is not something that you can get with any other brand video doorbell out there. If you're in the Google ecosystem, I would recommend going with the Google Nest Hello. Now, they do have a newer version doorbell out there, but that one actually has less features than this Nest Hello doorbell. The biggest one is going to be 24/7 recording. For this Nest Hello, or they now call it the Doorbell Wired version, that version allows you to set up and record 24/7 recording with a subscription. With the newer version, you do not have that option to do 24/7 recording, which is unfortunate. And then lastly, no matter what brand you go with, another good brand for a video doorbell is going to be the Eufy brand doorbell. I recommend the Eufy 2K battery. It also has hookups for wiring it up too, so you can wire it up. However, this one does need a home hub to save all of your information. The good thing about Eufy though is that there are no subscription fees like there are with Ring and Google. So do keep that in mind with your security cameras. Ring, Google, Arlo, if you're new to Blink, those all require subscription fees to save any of the footage that you have. With Eufy or Wise or Reolink, you do not need subscriptions for those brands, so do keep that in mind. So now let's talk about outdoor security cameras. I gotta say, the best outdoor security camera out there right now is going to be the Arlo Ultra. That is a 4K battery powered camera. If you don't need 4K and you're okay with 2K, then the Arlo Pro 4 is gonna be another great option for you out there. Now, I did a video talking about the best outdoor security camera. I will have that in that playlist if you guys wanna check that out. I do demos of all the cameras right there, so you can actually see a comparison of the audio and video quality with those cameras. In addition to Arlo, I think Ring is a great ecosystem to invest in. They've got so many different products being owned by Amazon. If you really want to invest in that Ring system, whether it's going to be security cameras or they even have their own security system, so you can have your own security system through there too. Those are going to be some great cameras to invest in. And then lastly, I think the Eufy 2C Pro or maybe even the Eufy Solo S40 are going to be some good non-subscription options to look into. Just remember, with the Eufy 2C Pro, it does require a hub to save any footage. And then as far as indoor cameras, if you're looking into that, I recommend the highly affordable Wisecam version 3 or the Nest Indoor. If you're looking for best of the best quality in audio, Nest Indoor is going to be the way to go. If you want something that is super affordable where you can maybe just monitor your house around, then the Wisecam version 3 is going to be a great option for you. Okay, so this video got kind of long, but if you're starting out and you want to know just what are the essentials to invest in, I would say voice assistant, security camera, depending on if that is what you're looking into. Then I would look at light switches, light bulbs, smart plugs, and then you're going to want to look into something that triggers that stuff. So that's either going to be a motion sensor or maybe a door or window sensor that is going to trigger your bulbs and your smart switches from turning on. Last week I did a video talking about the fundamentals of starting a smart home. You can check it out over here. Above that is going to be the smart home playlist of all the devices that I've talked about in this video today. If it was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.